My son got arrested at school and I couldn't be more proud. I got a call from work saying, "Mr. Bentley, your son has been arrested for assault. You need to come to the school immediately." I left work without explaining and broke every speed limit getting there. My 16-year-old son, Colin, had never been in serious trouble before. Sure, he'd gotten detention for being late, but assault on a teacher was something else entirely. When I got to the school, 2 police officers were standing outside the principal's office. Through the window, I could see Colin sitting in a chair with his hands cuffed behind his back. His knuckles were bloody and his shirt was torn. He looked up when I walked in, and his eyes were full of something I couldn't place. Not fear or anger, but something deeper. "Dad, they don't believe me," was all he said. Principal Whitehead sat behind her desk looking exhausted. Mr. Dixon, the chemistry teacher, was in the nurse's office with a split lip and what looked like the beginning of a black eye. The other officer explained that Colin had attacked him during third period in front of 25 witnesses. "What happened?" I asked Colin directly. He just shook his head and looked at the floor. "They don't believe me, Dad. Nobody ever believes us." The principal showed me statements from other students. They all said the same thing. Colin had suddenly gotten up during a lab assignment and punched Mr. Dixon repeatedly before other students pulled him off. Nobody knew why. When teachers asked the class what triggered it, everyone stayed silent. They processed Colin at the juvenile detention center and released him to me with a court date. The whole ride home, he wouldn't talk. He just stared out the window with his jaw clenched tight. I'd never seen him like this. Colin was the kid who helped elderly neighbors with groceries and tutored younger students in math. That night after dinner, he finally broke. We were sitting on the back porch and he started crying. Not little tears, but full body shaking sobs. "Dad, I couldn't let him do it anymore. I just couldn't." The story came out in pieces. Mr. Dixon had been targeting female students all year. It started small with things people could explain away. He'd drop pencils near girls wearing skirts so they'd have to bend down to pick them up. He'd lean over their shoulders during tests, pressing against them while checking their work. He'd make comments about their bodies disguised as dress code concerns. The girls tried telling people, but nobody listened. He's been teaching for 20 years, has awards on his wall, coaches the debate team. Colin's fists clenched as he continued. That morning, he'd seen Mr. Dixon corner Jess Gallagher after class. She was trying to leave, but he blocked the door. Colin heard him saying something about tutoring at his house and how she needed to improve her grade. Jess looked terrified. She kept saying she had to go to her next class, but he wouldn't move. That's when his briefcase fell open. Colin's voice dropped to almost a whisper. The briefcase was full of willy wrappers and other things that no teacher should bring to school. When Mr. Dixon bent down to close it, Colin saw Jess's face go white. She looked like she was going to throw up. "I knew what he was planning, Dad. I knew, and nobody would have believed her. They never believed the girls." So Colin had stepped between them and told Jess to run. When Mr. Dixon grabbed his shoulder to stop him, that's when Colin snapped. 20 years of getting away with it and nobody doing anything, and Colin just couldn't let it happen anymore. The next 2 weeks were hell. Colin got suspended pending investigation. Mr. Dixon played the victim perfectly, talking about this troubled student who attacked him for no reason. The school board was ready to expel Colin permanently. Then something amazing happened. Jess Gallagher came forward, then another girl, then another. By the end of the week, 14 female students had given statements about Mr. Dixon. They had timestamps on creepy emails, screenshots of inappropriate messages. One girl had actually recorded him on her phone, suggesting she could improve her grade by visiting his house. The police found more evidence in his classroom, hidden cameras in places they shouldn't be, files on female students that went way beyond normal teacher records. The willy wrappers Colin had seen were just the beginning. Mr. Dixon was arrested on multiple charges. Colin still had to do community service for the assault, but the judge called him a hero during sentencing. Colin told me the girls from his chemistry class showed up to every single hour of his service to help him relieve some stress. How thoughtful of them.